But if the dog won't work and then you go get the cheese and the dog does work, that's wrong. Because the dog said, show me the money and I'll give you the honey.
Right.
The dog's got to make. So remember the video with John Harrison's dog, the little Staffy Bull, which I would fucking sell my wife for.
Yeah.
And the dog's looking at the cheese.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's the dog working for food. That's because, people at home give treats. It comes from the hand. I had that dog looking up at my eyes to work against its best interest, to look at my eyes. How did I do that? I changed where the food came from.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of doing this, I want food, the dog goes.
Yeah, stares right at you.
It's just think. But people want to be told how to train a dog, not learn how to develop the communication. And that brings me right back to, you had to call so many audibles once you took ownership of this dog. You had to learn what not to do. You've had to go too far and then bring yourself back and then reach out to people and find all that. But then all you did was bring this relationship right into this sweet spot where you absolutely trust her now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just not communicating with that level of clarity when you're home. You're more emotional, and it's all the emotions. It's not business. And that's hard because it's hard for the dog to keep up on that, especially when you start adding like a leash, food, toys, or a collar to it. The dog has this, I call them precursor behaviors, And so when the food comes up, is that for me? Is that for me? Is that for me? You want to sit? You want to sit? When the toy comes out, it's just free for all. Look at the associations you're making in your life with outside materials, and then see how many there aren't when the dog is on harness guiding him.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing. I was thinking about that too. Like, we never used food in harness. I started incorporating it sometimes for find commands, like she'd find a seed or a door, and once she found it, she'd get something, which just drove her to want to find it faster. But other than that, we never used it because we don't want the dog actually looking at our pockets or our hands. We want the dog to actually focus on the task.
Or walking you up to someone who's holding a burrito.
Or that. Or diving for it on the ground, or
So go look at that, Sky. Look at that. You know how these things like toys and food and socialization would affect the dog and take it off task. But then when you want to retire the dog, you didn't make the connection that all these people are telling you, oh, you got to put her on the treadmill and you got to do this, you got to do that. You go, wait a minute. I've told this dog for 10 fucking years not to do that shit. It didn't exist.
Yeah. Right.
Now it's like you got someone who's like, I don't know, 60 years old, and they've never had a drink or a drug or sex in their life, and you give them all three, and they're like, what? If they didn't know it was there, they don't miss it.
Right.